WCSM's General Store is recorded at 70X7 Studio. WCSM is brought to you by Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center. Christine Flynn, your local Farmers Insurance agent. For Good Reasons Roofing, your local hometown roofing specialist. And by Sanders Insurance, your local independent insurance experts. And now, WCSM's crew.
Well, it's Friday, another beautiful Friday. We're glad that you are with us at WCSM's General Store, coming to you once again from the 70X7 studios. And we, as always, want to thank Mike and Carter for producing. They do such a fantastic job. We would like to thank all of our sponsors of the podcast. And of course, as always, we would like to thank you. When we apologize, we're not doing top fans. Kurt has not been able to join us the last episode and this episode. So, and that's kind of his deal. So, And plus, we have just a wonderful special guest, John Laskowski, who joined us last week. He was kind enough to come back and join us this week because we want to wrap up this incredible life journey that he's had, not only just through basketball, but we'll get to more as well. So, John, thank you for coming back this week and sticking with us. So, where we left off last week, you were a sophomore. Coach Knight had won the, I think, Big Ten championship, right? And you were talking about getting I think it was a bid to the NCAA?
Final Four, Final Four.
Final Four. Okay, so
in the Final Four, yep.
Okay, so jumping off from there, so what happens next?
So we kind of felt like, boy, this guy knows what he's doing. All we have to do is listen.
And it was his second season.
It was his second season.
Okay.
He kind of bought into the plan.
Okay, what do we have to do? So he brought in a 6'10" center, Kent Benson.
Yeah.
Benny.
That next year. And boy, that's the piece we were missing. You know, we had Scott May now and Wilkerson and Buckner and May. We had Steve Green, Abernathy, and we had some players junior year. And so we knew we could win the Big Ten championship. And we got to the last week of the season. We had lost to Ohio State on the Saturday before the last game, and that was an upset. We were a better team, but remember, Fred Taylor was Coach Knight's coach at Ohio State when he played. He was still the coach at Ohio State. So he's coaching against his coach. And there were some dynamics there, and we lost that game, which we shouldn't have. Okay. So now we have Purdue on Saturday. If we win the Purdue game, we tie for the Big Ten championship. If we lose, second place. So the pressure is on us. Okay?
Stakes are high.
And he's not happy about what happened at Ohio State. So Monday we come to practice, and it is grueling. He's yelling. He's screaming. I think, well, in a couple days he'll be fine. Tuesday, same. Wednesday, he's not getting better. As a matter of fact,
maybe getting worse.
The word around the team is, we're not really happy about this situation. That guy, Thursday. And so Friday, we got one more day. The game's on Saturday. We got one day to kind of put this thing together. He's not liking us. We're not liking him. And the mental vibe is just not there, okay? We show up Friday for practice, and we go about 10 minutes. He goes, that's enough. I've been seeing this crap all week in the locker room. After 10 minutes. All right, we go in the locker room. Open those doors. Remember those orange chairs, the one that kind of went across the floor that one day?
I was there for that game.
We each had our orange chairs, okay? That's where they started back in the early 70s. And on our chair was our white Indiana game day uniforms a day early. He said, I want you to pick that uniform up and sit down. We're going to talk. And so we're holding our uniform. And like, what is this going to be? Okay. And he starts talking about tomorrow's game. He said, now tomorrow's a big game for us. We got a chance to win the Big Ten championship, and we're playing Purdue, our rival. He said, there are going to be so many people interested in the outcome of that game. He said, do you know how many fans are out there and alumni that never, ever got to play in a game that would die to be out there to help you guys win a Big Ten championship? He said, what about all the Indiana players who have been here that never won a Big Ten championship? And they would die to be in your situation.
Right.
And then those who did win a Big Ten championship, man, they know exactly the feeling it takes to get that thing done. And man, it was just a great talk, about 10 minutes of just, okay, You're right, Coach. We got a bigger thing here than us being mad at you because we lost Ohio State. Okay.
Right.
I mean, we're ready.
Yeah.
Bring them on right now.
Yeah.
We're playing right now. He goes, all right, let's go back out to practice. Okay, now we're feeling good, okay?
Yeah.
So we go out the tunnel, the same place they come now, and there on the scores table across the court is 2 gallons of Baskin and Robbins ice cream. Chocolate sauce, strawberry suds, nuts, whipped cream, cherries. I said, well, I was 2-time all Big Ten all academic. I said, fellas, that's ice cream sundaes.
You figured that out right away, didn't you?
Right before the other guys did. I do it, okay? And Coach said, boys, let's have some sundaes. And there we are in our uniform, practice gear, dipping out ice cream, and we're having sundaes. 2-time all Big Ten, all academic. I'm having 2.
Well, you earned it.
Because if I got too much ice cream in my stomach, then I can't practice.
Right.
Okay? I have 2. And Coach says, okay, boys, practice is over. I'll see you tomorrow at the game.
Yeah.
So how much more defense or shooting? Or we don't need any more of that.
Right.
We need a clear head going
Yeah.
this game like we're going to be Purdue, okay?
Right.
And he did it.
Yeah.
He did it with the talk and the ice cream.
Yeah.
And so I get home, it's 3:30. The guys in the frat house are going, uh-oh,
Yeah.
what the heck happened? Okay. Don't worry, we're okay. We're okay. Just go to the game tomorrow. You'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, we're playing Purdue. Good old Purdue, you know?
Right.
And they're going to finish middle of the pack.
Yeah.
But if they beat Indiana, it ruins our
that's
dream,
their
okay?
season. Yeah.
And they're playing
Makes their
good.
season,
And
yeah.
somehow they stay with us the whole
Yeah.
game. So 30 seconds to go. We're ahead by 1. We have the ball out of bounds. Buckner and I are the guards, okay? I throw the ball into Buckner, okay? He dribbles down the floor, gets to half court. A Purdue guy steps in front, steals the ball, drives and lays it in.
Oh, no.
We're down 1.
Oh,
now
no.
with 20 seconds to go. Not good.
No.
The worst part is there are no seniors on the team. It's all juniors, sophomores,
Yeah.
and freshmen. So everybody comes back next
Right.
year.
Right.
Okay. If you're the guy that takes the shot that loses the game, can you imagine
Yeah.
for 20 games what they're going to do to you?
Exactly.
So I look over at the bench. Okay. So I have Buckner throw the ball to me because I'm not going to throw it to him again. Okay. 'Cause, so now I got the ball. Okay. And I'm dribbling down the floor and I look at the bench. I got the greatest coach ever on my bench. He's going to tell us what to do.
Right.
And coach goes, I said, what is that? That's not a play.
Right.
He goes, bring the ball up the floor. I'm not calling timeout. Let's run something and score. I don't want their defense to set up.
Yeah.
Great, coach. Great to have over there. Thank you so much. All right.
Brilliant.
So now as you're throwing around, that's when you realize there are no seniors.
Yeah.
Whoever misses this next shot is the GOAT.
Right.
Okay. The bad GOAT, not the good GOAT.
Right. Exactly.
Not what the goat means today.
So,
yeah.
the-
right.
Didn't have that
Yeah.
term.
Right.
So pass. Everybody's passing. Time's running down.
Yeah.
8 seconds to go.
Hot potato.
There's only one Polish kid on the team. That's me. Okay. Missed.
Oh.
Go after the rebound. Purdue fouls me. 8 seconds to go.
All right.
It wasn't shooting foul. It's a 1-and-1. Okay. 8 seconds to
A
go.
little pressure on these free throws.
Big Ten championship.
1-and-1.
80% free throw shooter. 1-and-1. The first shot goes in. Purdue calls timeout.
Yeah. It's icy.
Ice this
Put you
guy.
on ice.
Put him on the bench. We get to the bench. The very first thing Coach Knight says, there's 5 of us right there on the bench. After he makes this next free throw, here's what we're going to do.
Like it was
Yeah.
going to happen.
Wait a minute, it hasn't happened yet, Coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sitting there, okay. I'm an 80% free throw shooter. I make 8 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
I'm thinking about 20%.
Yeah.
The 2 that I missed.
Yeah.
Because if I miss this, we're in trouble.
Right.
Okay. And after he says that, it's like, wow, he thinks this is going to go in.
Yeah.
He knows I can make this.
Right.
That's the confidence part that
Right.
he instills at just the right time.
Right.
So
Exactly.
he goes, okay, Buckner, here's what you're going to do. May, here, Green, Benson. Okay,
Right.
here's what we're going to do. And he never gets to after he misses it. He doesn't say that. He just said,
Right.
after he makes it, here's what we're going to do.
Right.
Boom, we break. Okay. The next free throw goes in. We're up 1 with 8 seconds to go. They come down the floor, and the guy tries to take a shot from the baseline. Steve Green has 1 block shot in his career. He blocks this shot. Game ends. Indiana wins.
Yeah.
They storm the floor. They lift me up on their shoulders,
Yeah.
and
What a great
John
Laskowski
Ryan
moment.
is in the locker room. The president of the university's there to congratulate us. Like, man,
Awesome.
this is too good to be true. So the bad news is Michigan also wins, and we tie for the Big Ten championship.
Right.
Only one team gets to go, and we have a playoff game on Monday in Champaign. It's got to be a neutral court. We go to Champaign, Illinois, and they meet us there, and we play a game. And there's nobody in the crowd because there are no students around,
Right.
and it's like a practice game.
Right.
And Michigan beats us. And so they go to the tournament, and we go to a thing called the CCA tournament in St. Louis.
Right.
Okay. And so coach is not happy with this rule. He's in a bad mood. We have a meeting about this tournament. He goes, fellas, I'd love to go to the NIT. I took my Army teams there. We had great experiences, but we're going to go to this other thing. But I'm not happy about it. He said, I tell you what, let's just take a team vote. Okay. I'm going to give you each a pen and a piece of paper, and you just put yes or no if you want to go to this tournament. Okay. The coaches and I are going to go outside the room here and then put them in this basket, and we'll let you know. So they do. And we get, the manager takes it out, and coach comes back in. He goes, well, fellas, the vote was yes. So if we're going to go to this thing, we're going to win the damn thing. Okay.
Right.
All right. So practice tomorrow. We're going to call them up. We'll tell them we're coming. And they walk out of the room. And we start looking at each other like,
You all voted no.
wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I think he bamboozled us. so we're going to go.
Amazing.
We're going to go.
Amazing.
So we went. So we play Southern Cal the first game.
Yeah.
He gets thrown out in the first half. Okay. He gets thrown out of the game. All right. And we're getting killed. Okay.
Wow.
So he goes up in the top row. Now you have to leave the arena. Okay.
Yeah,
well, he
right.
goes up in the top row and he sits there. Okay. Watching the rest of the half.
Yeah.
So at halftime, he comes down to the locker room. He goes, okay, you got to do this, got to do this. He says, by the way, send a manager up to me, okay? And he starts taking notes in the second half. He sends a manager down to the bench to tell him what to do.
So he's still coaching.
Yeah, we come back and we beat Southern Cal. We won the next game, and we're champions of that CCA tournament.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. It all worked out.
Oh, that is incredible. What a great story.
It is. Yeah. Very, very.
That's funny.
Motivation. The motivation was there
Yeah.
when he knew how to use it. So my senior year, we had everybody back. And now it's not regrouping, which teams do now. Everybody knew their job.
Right.
And we're 1 year better than we were last year. And boom, we
Absolutely.
just started running through everybody.
Yeah.
We played Kansas in overtime at Kansas, which is a tough place to play. We beat them.
Yeah.
Coach had later said that if we can beat Michigan in early January at Michigan, we can go undefeated.
Yeah.
And we did. We beat Michigan. And, man, we just rolled the rest of the way. Beat Purdue by 1 point at Mackey Arena.
Yeah.
And then the last game, Michigan State won that game and undefeated regular season 29-0.
Unbelievable.
So it was just a fantastic accomplishment.
It was. Yeah.
Average winning margin, 25 points a game.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were up by 10 at the half.
Yeah.
They couldn't adjust. We win by 25.
Yep.
Game after game after game.
I know.
Just
Awesome.
Terrific. Lost to Kentucky at the regional without Scott May, broken arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
But better things to come in 76.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what
So-
a great team, 75.
So 75, I mean, undefeated, it hasn't happened again?
The next year, 76, that was
I mean, those, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
your two teams there,
Last two.
Yeah.
will it ever happen?
not now.
And
Too many good teams.
Who is it? Was it UPI at the time? Still
UPI
made you
national
guys
champs.
number one national champs, and there's no doubt you guys
They
were.
were best team.
There's
Best
no
team.
doubt.
Yeah.
Probably the best team ever in the history of college basketball. Really.
Great team.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
And that's saying a lot. And
Yep.
you're a part of it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so good. And I love it that the super sub ended up getting that free throw and winning
Yeah.
that Purdue game. That's how's that for a super
Yeah,
sub,
how about
right?
that? How about that?
Awesome.
Stay close. We've got more. We want to hear. John has taken us through his playing career. There's a whole lot more career left, though, for John Laskowski, and he's going to talk about that coming up after this break at the General Store. Stay close.
Farmers Insurance agent Christine Flynn put her experience to work for you. Christine Flynn proudly serves Monroe, Lawrence, and Greene County families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905 to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's Christine Flynn at 812-822-2905. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
We want to thank one of our great partners, the AME Group. They can be your partner, a technology success partner. They design, plan, procure, implement, support, and manage all aspects of business technology so you don't have to worry about it. Sounds like a great deal to me. If you are considering using a managed technology service, give Orion Saft a call at 812-320-0389. A friend of Kurt's for over 40 years, and that tells you a lot about Orion. He's a stick-to-it kind of guy. You can trust Orion with your company's tech needs.
Very loyal.
And know that he'll take care of your business just like he takes care of his own. The AME Group. Be sure and check them out.
Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center is the place that you need to go to keep your car running in perfect order. On the outside chance your car is not running in perfect order, Chad's has a shop over on State Road 46 in Ellisville that'll give you a free estimate and reasonable rates and get your car back on the road. Now, to keep it that way, you need to hightail it over to Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center located at 1357 South Liberty Drive. You know exactly where that is. That's just right around the corner from Menards. Now, check this out. Every 7th oil change is free. That's right. Absolutely free. I don't think you can get any better than that. Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center, 1357 South Liberty Drive in Bloomington.
Just want to talk a little bit about our newest sponsor, partner here at the General Store, For Good Reasons Roofing. They're a family-owned company, and they serve South Central Indiana. Have you ever needed a good roofing company? You want somebody that you can trust? For Good Reasons is your local source for professional roof replacement, storm damage repair, and gutter installation service. They're founded on 4 simple principles: honesty, integrity, quality, and kindness. When you choose For Good Reasons, you're going to know you're in good hands from start to finish, from their transparent price quotes to their commitment to offering the highest quality products and the after installation that follows. They don't just install and leave. They're going to be back to follow up. For Good Reasons is the professional roofing company you've been looking for and can trust. Give them a call, 812-360-4469, or visit them on the web at forgoodreasons.com. That's the number 4, goodreasons.com, and tell them the crew at the General Store sent you.
Welcome back. We are so enjoying this conversation with the great John Laskowski. So, John, we left off where you'd wrapped up your basketball playing days, Indiana University. So, take us from there. So, what happens next? Your major, you actually went to business school at IU. That was your degree.
Two-time academic. Remember?
Two-time. That's how he knew that was a Sunday bar.
Yeah.
And was smart enough to get 2 of them.
Yes.
So then, what do you end up doing then after college? Do you get a job in business or what?
Absolutely. My goal was to get a college degree, and I did. Mm-hmm. And so I got a job in Indianapolis, started in May, and was working, and thought this is going to be my life. Sure. Thank goodness I got a degree, and I'm an Indiana grad, and this life is good.
And you got a job, right? Yeah.
So there used to be a morning paper, Indianapolis Star, and an afternoon paper called the News, Indianapolis News, Green Streak it was called. So I'm at the office one day, and it's about 4 o'clock, and the boss comes by and he said, "Have you seen today's paper yet?" And I said, no. And he drops it on my desk, and it says, Laskowski drafted by NBA Bulls in second round. I read it in the paper.
Isn't that hilarious?
Now, today, you would go to New
you'd
York.
be in
I
New
was
York,
the 32nd pick in the draft.
Yeah.
You'd go to New York, and you'd have your gang with you.
Yeah,
you'd have a table.
Pull the jersey up.
And
And you got the hat.
Yeah.
No, I read it in the paper. So the next day,
At work. No less.
Did you turn in your 2 weeks notice?
I didn't get in 2 weeks. So the next day, the coach called and said, we drafted you in the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And I said, I know, I read it in the paper. He goes, we want to come sign you to a contract. And they did. And I played 2 years for the Chicago Bulls. I was second team all rookie.
Yeah, that's right.
My first year, averaged 10 points a game.
Yeah, did you play with Jerry Sloan?
Jerry Sloan was a guard.
Another Indian
Norm
legend.
Van Leer. Yep. And my high game is 29 against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Nice.
Wow.
And it was just great.
Yeah.
A couple years. We changed coaches after the first year, and my career ended after the second year. So now my basketball career is over. Okay.
But you got to live the dream.
Well, that's a John Laskowski story. I did not know that little. I didn't know you played for the Chicago Bulls.
Before Michael Jordan.
That's right.
He paved the way. For
Yes,
Michael
you
Jordan.
sure did.
There's only one way to get the third pick in the draft. That's be bad before. So I was a part of that. I never got a ring, but I felt I was a
Now,
part
he
of
was also drafted by ABA.
Kentucky Colonels.
Yes.
Yeah.
No
But
kidding.
They drafted Green, one ahead of me. He went to Utah, so they had to sign me. So we did.
Yeah.
I made $785 a game. I thought this is
Unbelievable.
$50,000 a year with $785 a game. I thought I'm in hog heaven.
Yeah.
So
What
then
a
my
kid from
career
South Bend.
ends.
So what happens then next? I mean, did you go back into a business, or I mean, eventually you end up being a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I came back to Indy, and of that my senior year, there were 8 players made the NBA. Which is pretty darn good,
It's amazing.
you know.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Of those 8, I was the first one cut. Okay, so now I'm available for something else. So Coach Knight calls on the phone.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, I want you to come down. I want you to be my color commentator on TV."
Right.
He said, "You understand the defense. You understand the offense." He said, "I want you to explain to people of Indiana what we're doing here because they don't know." Okay, and a former player is the perfect guy. I want you to do it. I said, Coach, I can't do it. I said, I'm shy. I don't like to talk to people. I'm only on TV. I said, what do you have to do to be on TV? He said, well, when the red light comes on, start talking. Oh, I didn't know that. All right. So Chuck Marlowe and I, he's a great guy, play-by-play guy. We did it for 10 years together and just had a great experience because the color guy, the play-by-play guy has to ask the questions.
Right.
And he has to do the commercials.
Right.
So the color guy just answers the questions.
Just talk about basketball.
I know that.
Yeah.
So it was a little rough. The toughest part about TV is you'll relate to the makeup.
Yes.
So you go to Penny's and you buy the compact, okay?
Yeah.
And then you have to go in the men's room before the game.
Right.
And all the guys
everybody's
are
looking
there
at you
like, what the
really?
heck? Yeah. So anyway, I got over that. So we did that for a while, and then Chuck was getting older, and so Coach wanted to make a change.
Yeah.
Coach kind of ran the program. If you didn't know that,
You're right.
everything. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So all right, here's my idea. So I'm going to have Joe Hillman be our play-by-play guy. He'd never done it before, but he was on the 87 team, and this is like in 92, okay?
Right.
And Ted Kitchell played on the 81 team, and you, Laz, will have 3 guys in the booth, all former players, and the stories are going to flow. I mean, this will be fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to do a practice game, and we'll see how it goes.
Right.
And so there's the 2 of them had never done a game before, and I only done the color.
Yeah.
And we did the game, and I got home, and my best critic is my wife, Alice, and I said, honey, what'd you think of the game?
Yeah.
She said, that was terrible. That's the worst game you've ever done. Joe wasn't quite ready for play-by-play. Kitchell wasn't sure you guys were talking to each other.
Yeah.
Not very good. Okay.
Right.
So sure enough, Channel 4 is watching the game, and they go, geez, this is bad. We can't do this. They call Coach on the phone. Coach, you got to make a change.
This is not going to work.
It's not going to work, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they decide to let Joe go, and Coach calls and says, hey, I want you to be my play-by-play guy. And Kitchell's going to be the color guy, and we play Notre Dame in 5 days. I'll see you there. Never a chance to say, no, Coach, I don't want to do it. Okay. It's just like, here's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I am scared to death.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched Chuck, but I never did.
Right.
Sure.
Play-by-play is harder.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's different.
you got to be fast.
Drive up to South Bend, and Kitchell, he's pretty different. I mean, you give him a question, he's going to give you a good answer. He's a good color guy.
Right.
So they have these cards, and all you do is read these cards into the commercials, because they can't see all the time. And we're playing Notre Dame, and sure enough, the game lasts exactly 2 hours. Because if it fell short, you'd have to fill. What am I going to fill? I don't know. Fill. It goes 2 hours. Indiana wins. It's a great game.
Right.
We drive back, and so the station calls the next day. We've reviewed the tape from last night's game. You weren't nearly as bad as we thought you'd be. No, wait a minute. That's a compliment. They were expecting this, and they got this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we're good. They said, we're going to keep you the rest of the year. I said, that's great. I said, you get somebody else in here because I'm tired of doing this. This is not for me. And I should ask for a limo. And who knows what I could ask for? Because they were in a spot.
Right.
But Kitchell and I just got this great thing going. I'm the straight man. He's the goof guy.
Right. Yeah.
And we all both know we have both stories.
Right.
And it went great. We're getting good comments. The season ended. They said, "Why don't you guys come back next year?" And 10 years we did that together.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
You guys were definitely the Big Ten network before the Big Ten network ever
Channel
existed.
4.
Yeah.
So I had told my wife, I said, Connie, because after she watched the game, she said, I'm glad you would never be the play-by-play announcer. I said, you're right, honey. I would never do that. I'm comfortable with my job, and that's it. Well, this transpires the next day. It only took me 24 hours to break that little promise. You promised me you wouldn't do that. You're going to bomb on statewide TV. I said, I know, honey. It's the highest-rated, locally produced sports show in America, Indiana basketball. But Coach asked me to do it, so I told him I'd do it.
Nobody tells Coach Knight no.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean, Coach? I'm doing it.
He didn't give you the opportunity anyway.
It all worked out. It all worked out. And 33
awesome.
years I was on TV covering Indiana basketball, 1979 to 2012.
Awesome.
I was covering the Hoosiers.
You did a great job.
Is that not incredible to you? Just even still to think about that and just say it out loud.
It is. Absolutely unbelievable.
Because you had no idea. I mean, you never saw that coming.
There was something going on behind the scenes. I think it was God that kind of put all this together, because there's no other way that the Polish kid from South Bend is able to do the things I've been able to do.
This not that Bob Knight was God, so I don't want anybody to think I'm saying that. But it reminds me of the story of Moses and God. When God was going to send Moses to Egypt to free his people, Moses was like, no, I don't want to do that. I can't talk. I'm not a speaker. You know what I mean? Right. So it's amazing.
Yeah. So
what a great story.
So doing the basketball, life is good. I mean, what else could a guy do that I haven't been able to do? You know? And it was October of 2012. October 2012. I'm at my church here in Bloomington, and the pastor's giving a little sermon on the Our Father. Okay, and I've said Our Father hundreds of times, but you just kind of go through it, and then he explained what each verse was. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Means I've got a plan for your life. And if you ask me what that is, I'm going to show you what it is, okay? Mm-hmm. And it was very well done. And so I started praying every day, God, show me what your plan for my life is. Not that I've had a bad run.
Right. Yeah.
There isn't anything better that could happen, okay?
Exactly.
So a year and a half goes by. A year and a half, I'm praying this every day, okay?
Yeah.
And I had an office in Chicago working for an insurance company, calling on alumni associations around the country, and I drive to Chicago and back a lot. I'm leaving Chicago, driving back, always stop at the Maryville Culvers. Oh, man, do I love Culvers. It was so good.
Yeah.
And sign on the highway, billboard, Crown Point Culvers just opened. So I whip off the road. I'm going to Crown Point.
Yeah.
Okay. Change the pace here. Food will be good.
Yeah.
Whip into Crown Point and order my food. And the owner's in there. That's the secret to Culver's, by the way. The owner's in the restaurant. I love to be in Bloomington.
always see you in there.
Seymour, love those two. We own both. And the owner's in there. Yeah. Well, he's a big sports fan. He's a couple years older than I am. And he recognizes me. Okay.
Nice.
The game, saw me play. And he starts talking. Hey, how you doing? I said, I love Culver's. And we talk for a while. We know the same guy. He knows Trigovich. He knows Pete Trigovich, the guy that, And so I'm getting ready to leave. I said, I got to go. He said, hey, have you ever thought being in the restaurant business?
Right.
I said, hell no. Guys lose their butt in the restaurant business. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Guy, nice to meet you. I'm out of here. All right. And I'm driving home. It's a 3-hour trip from Crown Point to Bloomington.
3 hours.
And here's this little peck in my head, you know? Now, wait a minute. You like Culver's? Oh, I love Culver's. Mm-hmm. So I call the guy the next day and I go, Fred, tell me what you have to do to be in the Culver's business. He said, well, they got an operations manual. There's 650 Culver's already open. You just follow that operations manual and they tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I said, I had a college coach who told me what to do, and it worked out great. Yeah. I think I can do this, okay?
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I talked to my wife, the best sales job ever.
Yeah.
Let's cash in our 401k, honey, and let's put it all in the restaurant business. We worked 40 years for this. Let's throw our life savings into the wind.
Yeah.
She said, yes. Okay, how good is that?
You gotta like it.
And I go to Culver's and meet Craig Culver, and Craig says to me, you know, I went to Wisconsin, Oshkosh, but I would come to the Madison games when you were playing against the Badgers.
Yeah.
And he said, we never beat you guys. I said, of course not. You were terrible. We always beat Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Northwestern, well, they weren't even looked at.
And so I worked with Bloomington here. We got the restaurant open in November of 18. It's been open just over 5 years now. It's one of the top 10 restaurants in the country in sales.
Oh,
we are number one in hospitality in our
absolutely.
restaurant, in our district, and it's just gone unbelievably well. So I look back and say, let's take our money and let me look at 20 different franchises and pick out the best one with the earnings ratio against the debt ratio. No. You pray, God answers that prayer. Mm-hmm. He's faithful. I didn't know how to do TV. I didn't know how to do Big Ten basketball. I didn't know how to run a restaurant. But boy, it all pays out.
Yeah.
If you listen to what he says, amazing things can happen.
Yeah,
and so
that's right.
Now we're on a run. My son's in the business. He's going to take it over someday.
That's right.
We've got my daughter's in the business, and thanks to listening what our pastor said.
Are there any future Culver's in your, I guess I should say additional locations in your future?
Bedford coming soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Deal.
Fantastic. That's great news.
Yeah. Awesome. I can remember right before he opened, he came up to us at another restaurant here in Bloomington and said, we were in our trooper uniforms. He came up and says, you guys ever heard of Culver's? Do you like Culver's? He goes, I'm going to bring it to Bloomington. And he did.
I am so thankful. I mean, as we started last week's show that way.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you have a great staff, and every time I'm in there, they're just all so cordial, and they do a great job, and the restaurant's clean, and I just think it's just so good. You've done such a great job with training, and you're always there, and so I guess the big question is, what is John Laskowski's favorite thing on the Culver's menu?
The custard.
You do, yeah.
I love the custard so much I bought a franchise. That's serious.
And it all comes back to
Bob Night Sunday.
The Sunday. It all comes back to the Sunday bar in the middle of Assembly Hall.
There you go.
So I will say this: as I started last week's show, the fish sandwich at Culver's, my personal favorite. But I love, it's the only place I know of where you can get a cashew sundae.
Caramel cashew sundae.
Caramel cashew sundae. And I'd never had that together. I'd never had cashews on ice cream. But I love cashews, and I love caramel, and I love ice cream, so I thought I'd try it. And it's so good. Yeah. It's so good. I just love everything. I just love everything about your story.
Yeah. Thank you.
John.
We really
it's so
appreciate
good.
you coming in.
Thanks for having me on. It's
an honor to have
wonderful
you.
how a career can go and then switch, from basketball to TV and from TV to restaurant. Just amazed.
Yeah.
And again, I think it all boils down to you just being faithful to God's call on your life. And when we do that, it's really, if we would just step aside and let His will for our lives be, isn't amazing?
Even when it doesn't make sense.
Right.
There's no way I can run a restaurant. There is no way. And there is a way if He's behind you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Thank you so much, John Laskowski. Let's give him a round of applause. So good. Thank you so much. Be sure and visit him at Culver's on the west side of Bloomington and coming soon to Bedford.
Yes.
So excited about that. Hey, and thank you for joining us. If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back in here next Friday. We'll do it all again right here at the General Store from the 70X7 studio.